Hey, it's January 7th. How's everybody doing? Well, a day of just relaxing and meditating on the word of Yahweh. I spent some time also watching other shepherds. Myself, in my life, I've walked as young in the ways of like Salvation Army, then into like, I don't know, Pentecostal, but just not full-blown Pentecostal. Then after with Pentecostal, and then into Messianic, Hebrew roots, rabbinic, ways, to where I am now. I don't walk in any of the man-made ways. I don't walk as rabbis, as popes, as preachers who, in their blindness or willfulness, they portray their ways and the ways of others as the ways of Yahweh. And they have placed their words and their ways on level with Yeshua and, rob the blessings from the sheep. It bothers me that, it's one thing for those that don't believe in Yeshua, Jesus, to call themselves rabbi, or to call their leaders father. Right out of the gate, these leaders are demonstrating that they do not listen to the very words of the Master. It would be something else to call yourself like these messianics, these ones that call themselves rabbis. Why not just call yourself shepherd in Hebrew? What is it? Roi? Roy? Why rabbi? Why put yourself on the level with the Messiah, who outright said, don't do this? I don't understand that. I don't understand why pushing man-made ways is put above the very words of the Messiah. See, when you come to faith, a person comes, they believe and confess that the Messiah. They go through what is said to do. You confess your faith, you immerse yourself, baptize in the name of Yeshua, Jesus, Messiah, no other name, as a sign, as a symbol, as of coming forth, that you step in a new life with the Messiah, walking in his ways. And in doing so, because you just listen to Yeshua, to Jesus and his words, and walk in those ways, the Father honors that, because the Son brought honor to the Father. And because of what the Son has done, like this idea that I watched this one messianic teacher, this Rico guy, and he goes to a demonstration. A lot of them, they really pander to the ideas of the rabbinic, so he does this circle and circle. And basically the idea, and he gives, and I see this with many of the messianics, and it goes with other ones and other faiths, like popes. They have their rules. If you don't follow these certain standards, then you have stepped out of the salvation of Jesus, Yeshua. And so you come to the faith, they say, and you go into the center, and the only way you can stay within the inner ring of that salvation is if you obey the Torah, the rabbinic, as how they say. And, they call each other rabbi. They promote messianic, rabbinic, like Judaism, all these things. And you don't hear too much of this promotion of the very words of the Master. And that's sad, because those very words are the words in which the Father honors, to bring honor and glory to the Son. For it is time so many miss what is going on. Like, just because one may judge, let's say, I'm not walking as the rabbinic ones say. And so they say that the bad things that are happening to you is because you do not obey the certain things, and bad things happen to you because unless you continue to stay within that little circle of obeying the Torah, the salvation of Yeshua won't apply to you, and bad things will happen to you, and curses and everything, like from the Torah, the curses of being when you didn't obey the law. And so they place people under the law again, and this idea that you must always keep pedaling the bike, and if you fail, then you've stepped out of the very thing you're able to break, what Yeshua has done. You're able to pull and say that there is no longer, like, the logic. We have to listen to Yeshua. What did he say? What are the very words that he has said, and how to treat others? What divided the 5 wise, or the foolish and the wise? What divided them? Like, what were the things? And listening and obeying the Son is obeying the Father. Because the Son, Yeshua, Jesus, only brought forth and said what the Father wanted. There's you see Yeshua, you see the Father. There is no divide, except when you put man-made, rabbinic, pope, preacher ways in it. You have the divide. Then you find that there's no longer this. There's no 2 elders, as the word has said that 2 elders go pray for the sick, and they shall recover and be right then. Where are the signs that follow these that believe? Where? That's the thing. It's because Yehovah will not honor the man-made ways. He will only honor the Son. He will honor his words. The words of God are the ones that get honored, not man's. The Father brings glory to the Son and honor, because the Son has brought glory to the Father in what he has done and bringing salvation and redemption to mankind in the world. So that's why you don't see these ones. That's why you don't see real, miracles happening among the Pentecostals, the Catholics, the rabbinic. You don't see that. Or the Mormons, whatever ones believe in Jesus, because they have written out the King. And they placed these masters above them, that act like they are the filter and the eyes and the ears for the brethren, when we should all focus and be as how the Messiah said. They want to just rip apart what he says and say that they're smarter than everyone else because they know the Hebrew and the Greek. But where's love? Where's mercy? Where's all these things? How about the least of these? Our brethren. How many of these, leaders and all of them really care about the other brethren that are suffering, that are going through the pains of life, that are breaking them and hurting them? They could be sick, their families breaking apart. Does anybody care? Or are they like the ones who just ran past that one who's laying in the streets, beat up, hoping that somebody cared enough to pull him off the road? But nobody cared. Nobody shared any time to show mercy, to show love, to show compassion. Everything that the Master, Yeshua, Jesus, demands and says that ye as sons and daughters live. We're to be sons and daughters. But let's put the scales of the rabbinic, the Pope and all that, so we can be not sons and daughters. We can be whatever these ones put forth in their ways, in their vision. Well, the people that really love Yahweh, who really cry out and who really pray and wish, are getting just seasons of waiting for rain, and all they get is waterless clouds just giving forth nothingness for them, when God has amazing things for his sheep, for his children. And people have made excuses and all that why they don't see the miracles. It just happened back then. God doesn't honor these other ways. The Father will honor the Son. Nothing is given but by God. And he, as the gathering, this is the reason for the great Exodus. This is the reason for these things. It is done for his name's sake and for his glory. He will take all the scattered sheep, Judah and Israel, and all those ones, and he will make them one for his name's sake and for his glory. And you can read right Yahweh saying that you will be ashamed of your ways. You'll be ashamed of those man-made ways and disgusted with yourselves for it. But that's how amazing God is, and how amazing he loves us, that he will transform us. He will pour out his Spirit. He will change the hearts. He will change the spirit. He will change the people to be one and to walk in many things, even after all the screw-ups. This is why these shepherds, these rabbis, these popes, these preachers, they are going to face a lot, because they are the ones pushing their ways above the very ways of the Master, Yeshua, Jesus. Everyone, focus on reading those Gospels, knowing what Jesus says, because nothing else matters. Nothing else matters but walking as what the Master has commanded. Those rabbinic, those pope, those preacher man-made ways won't heal the sick. They won't make the blind see. They won't part the waters. They won't do those things. Only Yahweh's ways will do it. All other ways are just nothing. Pointless. But the love and the grace of our God will be one where he will gather his wise sheep, those that walk as Yeshua said. And that's an important thing. And they will be gathered, and they will be made one. And they will be protected away from the dragon, away from the beast, away from the scorching heat, away from the blood water, away from facing the mark of the beast. The foolish will face that. They get locked out and they get left out of it because they're not ready. They wake up to what they need to get ready for, but they're not ready in the times of good. But they try to get ready during just so. I can just get ready at the last moment. I can take from them and hope to be. But what matters is walking as Yeshua said, Jesus. Nothing else matters. And He is the Redeemer. No matter how disgusting you have lived, no matter how disgusting you believe you are, Yeshua has removed the consequences of those sins, the consequences of it all. He has set us free, and the Father will honor what the Son has done and says and bring glory to His name, and that everyone matters. You're not a piece of garbage because you may live like a piece of garbage or these things. He is so much more and can change the heart, can change the life and bless them. But the sad thing is that the shepherds have led people to trust in their ways, their man-made ways. And the people have not seen what God can do for them. It's only because God does not honor those ways. There may be times of stirring in the pools where those in the grace and the mercy and the love of God, where He has answered prayers even among those that are walking among the man-made ways. There's so much more that God has. Yeshua said, these things that I do, ye shall do also, and greater. These ones that call themselves rabbis, the same title as the Master. Why can't two of them go and pray for any sick and see them recover? Why are they not walking as like the Master? Because God doesn't honor man-made ways. But there is coming a day when He will transform people, transform their hearts and make them one for His name's sake and for His glory. Because you're not seeing that in Israel right now. It's sad. They have a God that loves them greatly. Yet ones walk on ruins with no desire, lifting up other gods, lifting up man-made ways, refusing to even listen to the Messiah, to listen to the very words of Yahovah made flesh. Yahovah will change. God loves you. God loves. And with great joy in heaven is one gives their heart to the Master, to Yahovah. Eternal salvation, eternal peace. This world is but a matrix, but just a glimpse. We will remember it like the time in the womb of our mother. It'll be that when we stand in forever. And only through Yeshua, Jesus, are we able to walk into that forever of peace. And narrow is that way. And it is listening to the King. It is listening to Yeshua. And walking as He said, not as those who would call themselves the very thing the Master said not. Shouldn't that be a red flag warning for many? Why would they call themselves something that the Master said for His sheep not to, and then demand that the sheep do it, calling one's father, you know who I'm talking about, priests. And then you have the rabbinic with the rabbi. We're all brethren. There is one Messiah. Listen to Him. Nothing else matters. If you are one who has come to a faith in Yeshua and Jesus and desire to be a servant, a brethren, one who desires to walk in the Messiah's words and ways, then take yourself, immerse yourself, proclaiming before you immerse yourself in the water, that you do it in the name of Yeshua, Jesus the Messiah. Whether people are witnessing this or not, it is a sign and a symbol for you, and Yehovah sees this. Ones don't listen to the Master when the Master says that when you gather together to wash your feet, immerse them, and join, for that place is holy. Yet no one does that. No one listens to the Master literally. They don't. They want to pick apart the wings of a gnat and try to swallow a camel while saying that all this, heaping things upon others, heaping Judaism, rabbinic, Pope, we must obey their words before the Masters. Yet it is only the Father will honor the Son. He will not honor a Pope. He will not honor a rabbi or a preacher or any of that. But those that start a life and reading the Gospels, start with the book of John and go to the others. If you can't read, listen to the audios. Hear the very words. Don't just play it as background music while you're doing something unless it's something that you can meditate and hear the very words as you're doing it. Not like vacuuming the floors. Somewhere you're hearing the words of our King. And He is real, and He has redeemed us. And those sins, those things that you believe and others have said that, once you come to the understanding of who the Master is, then if you sin, no. Nothing you do in that will ever overtake the salvation that Yeshua has given. It is not listening to Yeshua that removes you from being saved, and how He says to walk and to love the Father is to honor the Son and listen to Him, because the Father honors the Son. So many focus on all these other things that they heap, rabbinic, Pope, and preachers from Salvation Army all around, the different denominations and their doctrines of what you got to do to stay in that church, to stay in things, to be accepted as being a believer. When Yeshua, one of the closest women that was there, that would care, that would make meals or whatever, there was others, but one was a woman that many would just throw to the garbage and say that she's lost. And because of their man-made ways, they couldn't ever possibly cast out the demons that were in her. But because of the love of God, she was delivered, and she was treated like, with love, to where the Master spoke to her first, where others would just dump her as a whore, as a possessed mad woman, because they couldn't heal, they couldn't solve, they couldn't figure the issues out, so they'd rush past that woman laying in the streets, begging for help, begging for mercy, compassion, and love. And if we are to walk like sons and daughters, we are to walk as how Jesus, Yeshua, said, not as Rabbi Billy Bob or Pope such and such. It says how the King said. We no longer have to go to these ones because they hold the Bible in their hands, and we have to hear it from them. We can have it now in audio and whatever desire. It is those words of the King of Yeshua that matter, because there's a great difference in how one that was close, Peter, and one that had the Spirit of God, and one who was entrusted, then led believers to walk as. There is no, you go into a church now, there could be like dirt poor, stinking rich, all this imbalance where all these ones are just not led to really focus on building treasures in heaven, where they are basically judged by the treasures on earth. There's a great confusion. They're not walking as how Peter desired. They're not walking as how Yeshua desired. They're just walking as how men desire. Walk as the wise. Those who walked as the Master Yeshua said. We are all brethren. We're not to call anyone rabbi. And we only have one Father now because of Yeshua. And that is our Father in heaven. And we are called no one Father. He is our Father. And He will bring honor to the Son. For the honor and glory that the Son has brought to the Father, we can never come close. Our righteousness is but filthy rags, and we are redeemed. Yet these ones desire to put us in places where we have to continue to be on the treadmill. Yeshua said, "We'll never thirst. And whom the Son sets free is free indeed." So walk as He says. Maybe soon we will see 2 elders pray for the sick and they all recover. It would be nice to see, because God is real and He is an amazing God and desires only good. And anybody questions that, they don't know who Yeshua is, Jesus, or why He came. Because God loved this world so much that He gave that door, that key to us. Yeshua walked that walk for us to bring honor to the Father. And now the Father will bring honor to the Son and to the words that the Son has asked. Those who desire to be sons and daughters are to walk. Thanks for listening, and for those that it is a matter of just walking as Yeshua said, walking as Jesus said. There's so much more that God desires for His sheep. It's too bad that a lot of ways and a lot of places it's just lukewarm. It's just a lot of leaders are waterless clouds, whitewashed tombs. I mean, it's sad. And so many are looking and searching. The harvest is white and ripe. I hope you have a good evening. And thanks for listening. And the best is yet to come for the wise. Love, Batman.